5 seconds remaining. Dire team pick. Seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Radiant team pick.
Our Medusa is usually going to win games for you, especially when she's got the net worth of like 2.5 of your cores. We have ourselves a little bit of a different opening, however, for Geek Fam picking up that Omni Knight, sticking to their DP, and Clutch will go interesting. Back for the Shadow Demon, but also with the Sand King. So Geek Fam picking up 2 cores, Clutch Gamers maybe picking up 2 supports. Skylark definitely is a Sand King player as well. But this is definitely a little bit of a different direction here for Clutch, at least. Geek Fam maybe trying to do the same type of style.
Radiant team ban. Dire team ban. Radiant team pick.
We gotta remember, I mean, Shadow Demon, we talked a bit about him in the last game. You are going to be, at least sometimes, setting up for a Burrow Strike. And a low-level Burrow Strike, its range is a little bit pathetic, so sometimes you do need that help. And, you know, maybe you even get those 4 points around. So definitely possibilities there from Clutch, but you also do have that Purge. And Purge can kind of just destroy Geek Fam as they pick up an Oracle for them. Even more defensive power. Maybe at a certain point it's going to be excessive. I don't know if we're at that point just yet, but Oracle Omni, it's going to be real hard for Clutch to actually get these kills.
5 seconds remaining.
Gotta watch out for Geek Fam's secondary support. Oracle is one of these heroes, kind of like the Shadow Demon, who has kind of limited offensive power unless he's with certain other heroes. Like if you're able to actually get in there with Fortune's End on like an Earth Speed or something like that, you can be really, really powerful. But you know, we'll see what they want. They are a Spirit Breaker team, Geek Fam, so it's gonna be that. But you said it, Clutch Gamers try to avoid that team fight. I don't think there's a hero that avoids team fight more than Nature's Prophet.
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Dire team pick.
Spirit Breaker.
Oracle Spirit Breaker as their support duo. Pretty sure we're still in 2018. Spirit Breaker Death Prophet, Spirit Breaker Omni Knight, Spirit Breaker Oracle, like these combos are all like real threats. The problem is that Spirit Breaker just as a hero is so front loaded in what he does. Like you land the charge and then you're tanky. That's pretty much it. And even landing the charge in this game up against SD, up against Sand King, like that's no guarantee. So I mean, he's really well situated here with his allies, really well placed up against the NP, but he's useless up against PL, Shadow Demon, and Sand King. This is not looking like an easy game for Geek Fam to really force these objectives.
Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
For a safe laner for Geek down. I'm expecting Spirit Breaker to be playing at least as much as he can with an Omni Knight, trying to battle in that bottom lane. Is Sven at all a hero? Like, ever? We are maybe glancing over the classic Oracle combo. Any chance at all for Huskar? Like, that type of pick, even though really rough against PL, yeah, that type of cheese might just be enough to kind of push Geek Fam through with brute force.
Radiant team pick.
Visage.
Not a hero you're super eager to gank as a Spirit Breaker either. Maybe way back when Visage was support, but those days have passed.
5 seconds remaining.
Gravekeeper's Globe will just brick wall the Spirit Breaker. You charge in, you land the Siphon, and Visage with the Grave Chill probably just walks away unless you're really lucky in those RNG rolls. Clutch gamers get the Visage, a little bit of pushing power of their own, but here that's really, really tanky. Geek Fam don't really have the tools to deal with. They'll go for Leshrac, actually. Interesting stuff from the Geek Fam side. At the very least, it's another stun, and it's gonna be played by. That can't be right. Firu's the 4 of Geek Fam, and Skid's the 1. I hope they don't, dude. I hope this is it, because I've showed this to me. Looks like they are making a couple of swaps there, so that's a little bit sad. I was hoping for something a little bit out of the box there from Geek Fam, but will most likely just be a core Leshrac and Firu playing the Spirit Breaker, and no surprise, that is how it's going to land. Leshrac does seem like a decent one. I mean, you have all this defensive power coming out from Geek Fam, from their Oracle and the Omni Knight, and protecting a Death Prophet, that's all well and good, but you have so much defensive power, like you can't afford to protect 2 of these heroes, and Leshrac getting a little bit of assistance from an Oracle, from an Omni Knight. He has his entire mana pool within the duration of that False Promise, and if he dies after that, it's a life well spent. You did your job already, so I do think that Geek Fam have certain advantages here, but overall I think Clutch with their kind of elusivity still have a little bit of a better draft.
Yep, I would agree. I think it's much easier for Clutch to just play them.
To a future of
But, yeah, it always depends, right? Omni Knight, strong laner, especially when you pair him up with Spirit Breaker, they can always take over and stumble, especially up Shadow Demon.
Shadow Demon PL. Really a combo when you push that 20-30 minute mark. In the early stages, this isn't really a combo that you're really satisfied with as far as locking down a lane is concerned. And you're gonna go up against a lot of fat in this lane. There's an Omni Knight the Spirit Breaker, so much health, so much armor to grind through, and the PL is normally the hero that can trade right clicks half decently up against one guy, but up against two of them, like, he's not winning those damage trades. That's why we see Yul already picking up the Shadow Poison, just wants some semblance of lane control from this Shadow Demon. And hey, he'll find an Observer Ward, Sentry. Not a bad start over in bot lane. In the meantime, they get the Burrow Strike over onto Skid. Brant's in the way. This Leshrac early levels kind of paper and will take quite a bit of damage, but it looks like overall it'll just be a 2-2 rune split. Just a couple of bangs and bruises on both sides.
Nothing really out of the ordinary here, but both teams weak safe. Oracle, Leshrac up against the Furion and Sand King. It looks like they're probably just going to get dominated. Furion super strong in lane, then you throw a Sand King into the course. Same thing up top, Spirit Breaker Omni. Huge beat. Shadow Demon.
Gonna be a tough lane for both of these two teams, and I'm not really sure if this can even get to a point where one of these teams is like, screw it, I'm leaving, we're gonna shuffle up these lanes somehow. I don't really see how that would be done with these heroes. Yeah, Strack isn't gonna move out. Oracle goes towards the top lane. Is that even a kill? I don't think it is.
Maybe on the Shadow Demon once this lane's already like level 3, but you know, outside of that, not really. And then you can't really back though. Very on top with. Oh man, the struggles of being a Shadow Demon lane support. He's pretty much dumped his entire mana to Omni, at least a ton of regen. He's sitting here waiting to die. That's what's going on.
Well, Yul was making the pick, and he's the one who picked Shadow Demon for himself to play, so he knew what he was getting into. This was his own doing. But in the meantime, over in Bottomland, we have expected a little bit of a gross mismatch here, CS-wise. Over in mid, there is a lot of denying going on here. Really important for both these two heroes to hit level 6, but a little bit more important for the Visage here, so.
Double damage from top of the Oracle gives me a lot of way. You're so close to being able to scout, but down bottom, got the root into the splitter.
Right click down. 1 second, Sand King leaves the lane. They immediately jump on him and able to land that Split Earth. Lightning Strike, you do get very low cooldown on that one. So it's going to be the Nature's Prophet to fall. I don't think that's going to be a super turning point, since Nature's Prophet immediately going to teleport back in with the Burrow Strike. Leshrac in a lot of trouble here. A couple more right clicks, and Oracle has no defensive power right now, at least none that's useful. Immediately the kill is turned back around. It's definitely nice to get that first blood if you're a Geek fan, but again, you need a little bit better than that, a lot more than that if you're going to consider this lane stabilized. Still, you're only working with level 2 Leshrac up against level 3 Nature's Prophet, level 3 Sand King.
It'll get better for Leshrac once he gets levels, but it's a struggle for them.
Lancer's actually last hitting really well up in the top lane. Yeah, with the Quelling Blade, just so difficult to CS against as any hero, even if you do have these two bullies in lane. So Faded is getting his cash, and March is getting a decent amount as well, but the big difference here is coming from the safe lane CS, where Leshrac isn't getting jack. Phantom Lancer is, I would say, free farming. Like, not completely safe, but I mean, he's getting as much gold as a free farming Lancer probably would want. Burst, like, Scarlet gonna fall. Charge goes off onto Aftermoosh now, as Skid does have another salvo of spells. Gets Burrow Struck. Aftermoosh trying to race. Can't quite get it though. And actually with the creeps attacking him still, they will get him afterwards. So they do kill off the Leshrac, but do lose 2, and they're gonna dissolve this top lane, which means that the Phantom Lancer is gonna have an even easier time moving forward. I don't know, I mean, maybe level 3 Spirit Breaker, it's time to move around, but it seems like it's only versus the Nature's Prophet where that's at all truly viable.
Yeah, it's funny, it's like the only hero they can act. Banished, but too close to his tower, and it's a case of Oracle.
A lot of damage. Gone actually just swarmed there. That would have been a dead Shadow Demon. Purifying Flames is definitely, as a nuke, very easy to underestimate. Skylark, once again, charged up, but this time the Sand King is here, I guess. All that here. He scares them off.
Saves him.
Intimidation. Well, they tried. And even if Skylark dies a handful of times, like, yeah, he's worth a lot, but he can still contribute to a very, very high degree, even if he does stumble a couple times and die. And like we actually are going to have a little bit of a battle brewing in this bottom lane. Skylark is going to be charged, but there is so much help here. The charge is going to miss up against that disruption. Now they're going to focus down Skid, after which is right with the Burrow Strike does land it onto the Distract. Raindrop's going to hold strong for right now, but he's still taking a lot of right-click damage. Sprouted up, that's actually not doing them any favors because it pushes Afromuch out. Now Skid's still on the run, with the charges going to Skylark. He's just going to get two-shot. Treants will surround and kill off the Distract, and now Yol is stuck in a corner right now with no mana to speak of. Gonna drop 2 more Shadow Poisons, but I don't see him getting out of this one unless Purifying Flames does something weird. Hiru gets a double kill off of this bottom lane, and again, it's gonna cost them their Leshrac, but hey man, you get a farm Spear Breaker. He's on 2nd place for the team. Maybe we will see a core Spear Breaker after all. Skylark's gonna teleport right in onto him. Not really sure about that one, Skylark, because there's a charge, and of course, a couple of lucky bashes. Never lucky bashes, never mind. But, yeah, I'm not really sure if that trade for Geek Fam is something that they're going to be ecstatic about, but hey, they get the kills that matter.
Guys, the supports are getting so much though. Alright, Spear Breaker 4.5 and 6. Smoke broken.
Fine for Yol. Burrow Strike again, trying to keep him safe. Looking for that Ancient Deny. Won't even get to the aggro, actually. Shadow Demon, Sand King. These two supports are absolutely fierce. 15 minutes in. 6 minutes in, they have a little bit to be desired. They need a bash into Ajit. They have the root. Siphon, though, does get broken. They still will get the kill with the Purifying Flames. And even Skylark teleporting in. These moves from Nature's Prophet, awfully bold, as he's just going to get ground down. It's the Oracle? You grab a triple kill? Okay, well, I guess we're going to have a farm Oracle and farm Spear Breaker this game. Skylark's rotations, that's a little bit too much. And holy crap, the Visage's net worth now compared to the DP. What the hell happened in this lane?
It's out of control at this point, but you know, thankfully Visage, once he gets to level 6, then he can really start to perform like a real hero. He's a weird one. His early game is so weak, but his level 6 is incredibly strong. Always a strong.
I think the point of Soul Assumption as well is not standard.
Yeah, I see a lot of players skip it. It usually doesn't do anything. Perhaps I thought he could actually get a kill, or some location up top. Might be dead again.
He's going to try to debate with an illusion. Does not work at all, though Afromuch is coming in. They cannot catch up to this Spirit Breaker. It's going to charge right through him. We'll get out to safety. At least Skylark doesn't rotate in towards that one. Only a lost cause to begin with. So Clutch, having now essentially lost this mid lane because Ajit is just so far behind. Nature's Prophet suiciding one too many times off of a couple of weird plays. Suddenly seems like this PL might be the only one who's having a reasonable time. And I guess PL can win you a game, but he definitely needs a lot more farm than this over a long period of time. And his allies are just dying in the meantime. Skid's going to try to Pulse Nova Afromuch. He's going to get really close to the kill, but he can't quite get it. Tries to turn around, but the stuns come in just in time, although the Oracle also comes in just in time. Here comes Skylark teleporting in. Skid's going to prep up with the canceled Split Earth. He does still land in the end, dumps the rest of his mana pool into Skylark, and Skylark, for like the 5th time in a row, is going to teleport into a situation where he is just outclassed. He's going to get picked off, so Skid does get his kill at the end of the day. There's just havoc all over the place. March going to get chased down over in top lane. Does have a purification with the Soul Ring. Does do a lot of damage to Yol. Here comes the charge in. It's onto the Shadow Demon. Hiru is in there with the Power Treads. Gets the kill. Takes up level 6. Nether Strike onto Faded. Can't dodge that one. Doppelgang now up. We'll probably get him to safety, but dude, this is some real Spirit Breaker action right here. He's level 6. He is going absolutely everywhere. He's going ham.
He's basically a core, right? Look at his net worth, same as the Omni-Knight. Even Oracle almost matching the supports on Geek Fam have gotten so much out of kills every level 6 at 9 minutes on 4 positions. Insane.
is looking a little bit like game 1. Big difference is that Clutch have Phantom Lancer instead of Medusa, who is by no means a weak hero if he's suddenly turbo farmed, but just doesn't have that same unkillability that the Medusa has, and even his supporting crew is a little bit less direct. They're very, very split push heavy with pretty much non-existent team fights, so not a great combination if Geek Fam are able to squash the split push with the Spirit Breaker. If Spirit Breaker was the net worth of Sand King at kind of a lower level, then this would be kind of okay, but clearly he's not. He's going to force a Burrow Strike out from Aftermoosh and doesn't actually have Dust, so can't get the kill if he wanted to.
So even though Phantom Lancer is extremely farmed, the Visage's current position in the game is quite worrying. He does finish come with a Dominator, which, it's not bad since he skipped boots in the mid. Clearly right. Seriously.
False Promise comes in, saves him a lot of health damage, and will get healed up quite a bit by those Purifying Flames. Suddenly topped out, turns around, kills off the Sand King. Skylark is going to hide in the trees, role-playing Nature's Prophet. In the meantime, they charge in towards mid lane. Yul's going to fall. Another 2 kills, and there's no exorcism on this DP, so I'm not sure if they can do anything substantial here, but just kills for kills' sake. Keeping these Clutch heroes down, saving their own heroes. Sometimes you don't need much more than that.
I would say Geek Fam have got off the right start. They can just run down. They're still restricted pretty much by the exorcism.
Radiant's top tower.
But with Shrek, they do scale pretty decent. Run him down, clear out delusion. Heavy farming build as well. Casual perseverance, boots travel.
Trying to play whack-a-mole with these Clutch gamer heroes. Travels is going to be an all-star in that regard. Ends up on the high ground with that charge, is still finding back. But yeah, this is going to be a little bit of a weird timing for Leshrac, where he's not overtly bulky. His mana pool is going to be, not terrible, but not amplified. His movement speed is kind of lacking, no upgraded boots, no drums or anything like that, so this is incredibly greedy from Skids. If he's able to get those travels, squash a couple of split pushing heroes, then it's all going to be worth it. Of course, that has yet to be determined if that's actually going to happen, but Track definitely playing a slower tempo role here. And they have the power of the Omni Knight and the DP, who are going for those pretty classic items, so his allies can pick up the slack.
Radiant's top tower.
As long as he can stop his from taking top tower and having his way with that part of the map, not so bad. Always going to be on that. Continues to keep on farming. Leshrac really isn't needed to keep on farming later on much. They don't want to fight at all.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Will push top in the meantime. Skylark going to TP up there. It is here to try to thin this out, but Thunderstrike can only do so much. They will abandon that top push, and the bottom push will continue at least as much as they can. They're chugging salves, they're chopping Purifying Flames into this Death Prophet. Creep Wave is not lasting quite long enough, but it looks like they should be able to take this tower regardless. You can see this lead, though, that Geek Fam have, despite having so many kills and advantage, mostly because of this Phantom Lancer, is not quite as much of a lead as they would really like. And here comes the Sand King, teleporting in. They get to chill onto this Death Prophet. Movement speed as she has, taking an absolute beating from those birds. No point for Burrow striking into that Edict, so they will fall back. It is a win for Geek Fam, but again, we're looking at the split push from Clutch starting to ramp up here. Gets the tower, though. Maybe worth.
As long as PL's not dying, it's still really good. PL is at the fuse point. He will get to that scary point of the game. March finds goal on that side of the map, but yeah, PL super difficult to deal with, right?
Middle tower is under attack. Dire structures are fortified.
March and Oli in the meantime able to jack up that mid not PL, the Shadow Demon. Put some extra damage into this tower. Omni at this point, phase and drums is very difficult to deal with, just movement speed wise, let alone durability wise. Scarlet's gonna jump in onto the Oracle, false promise onto himself, will be just fine as Spirit Breaker is charging right through that. He's like, F that. Now he's gonna turn around and try to help out a little bit. Purification onto the Oracle, and it will pretty much break even there. He's still getting chased down by the PL though, and will get put into the dumpster. Faded is going in very far. He's going in very far alone. Now here comes the Leshrac reinforcements charge back in. PL is gonna get purified and dropped. Tower is still alive right now. Fortification probably won't hold up against the birds, but Skylark being hanging around for a little bit too long there. Gets earned up. He's gonna sprout himself, but the split earth, easy to land after that sprout. Gonna get a double kill for the Omni as the charge comes in towards Yol. Won't quite make it in time before the disruption comes in. Geek fam, they lose that one tower. They do gain the crucial kill in that PL.
PL goes just a tad too deep, and the network leader dead. And all of a sudden, now they have so much momentum. Keep on going.
Dire's middle tower is under
Don't
attack.
have to stop there.
Dire's middle
Definitely not the likes of Yol. He's not going to do anything. And look at this kind of adaptation from Skid. Ordinarily, lots of points in Splitter, lots of points in Lightning, but he's opted for 4 points in the Edict, much earlier than usual. So he's prepped up to take down towers. And with the exorcism there as well, this tower, though fortified, is most likely not long for this world. So I like Geek fam kind of tailoring their builds here to fit the circumstance. Leshrac also going to ditch the travel. He's going to go for a little more of a classic Leshrac build.
has fallen.
Yep. They have an overwhelming amount of push inside of Geek fam. All they really need to do is get themselves to the next objective. There's what they like. PL, yeah, he's really strong for all these spells.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Have his Diffusal Blade. He's working on those bigger items, but his supports are, I mean, I say support, but his friendly heroes that are supposed to be supporting him, not quite there yet. Skylark is looking for some pretty heavy action of his own, going to go for that Orchid, as Visage is doing pretty much normal Visage stuff. Solar Crest, Helm of the Dominator, nothing too out of the ordinary there, but being behind as Visage, not able to get really much in the way of kills to recover. It is a slow game for the Visage. He definitely has to wait for his opportunity. We'll find March with the Diffusal Blade. Some serious damage onto that Omni Knight. He does have an Oracle behind him. With that False Promise, March still swarmed by Smurfs as they do charge straight in behind the tower. They do see, though, Leshrac coming in, takes Burst Strike immediately, but he actually has a fresh Bloodstone. Even though the Epicenter charged up, does some damage, it's not going to do nearly enough, and now they've isolated two on the side, as Spirit once again is going to drive them back. Chuan's going to dash in as well. Familiars are overhead. Sprout is going to stall at the Spirit Breaker for a couple seconds. Spade is going to isolate and kill off March. They're chasing really hard for these two other cores, ignoring that PL, and it looks like they'll be kind of rewarded. They do take down the Visage now. Faded going to return back in with Yol. They do Sprout and capture Chuan. Probably going to be okay here. Ultimately, though, for Clutch, they're able to escape with the PL, make a 2-for-2 trade. That's reasonable. Might lose the birds, though.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Dude,
That's
he
really
kills off one bird with the lightning strike, so the charge goes on to the other one. Feels good, man.
It's interesting to see Visage in a position where they actually just can't roll from tower to tower. Take all these fights. Disgustingly. You know, it makes the hero look a lot less strong.
I'll take your tribute.
Did Visage also... Yeah, this is... He doesn't have his birds anymore. Visage died, and he summoned them shortly before that, so... Visage is great with these items, if he has ult. He doesn't have birds, these items on Visage are whatever. It's just a tank, I guess. They are also not going to have much time to breathe, Clutches. You can go right into the Roche Pit. There is no Magnus this time. There is no Kurt's Crown this time. There is no interference this time. They'll have to give up this Aegis. Looks like it will be the Death Prophet to grab it next. Leshrac is coming in. And give it to the Leshrac. There you go. March is already swarmed and killed. March coming in, though. It's going to connect with a Shadow Blade. He can just drive right by. He's got no backup. He's going to get a good eye on everyone, but actually going to find Yol. Oh, just smashes him with the Nether Strike. Feels shadowed even, man.
Such a sad life from the enemy Spirit Breaker support. Look at his level of farm, right? He can solo kill the Nature's Prophet at this point, Shadow Demon pretty much every time.
Radiant's bottom
Going for
tower
freaking
is
massive
under
madness. I don't know if he's gonna
Dire's top tower
commit
is
to
under
that,
attack.
but I mean, if you're like even considering that type of item on a support Spirit Breaker, you're in a good spot.
Yeah, definitely. Farm is.
Atlash right now is gonna get chilled, burrow struck, but the Bloodstone charges, and of course that immediate false promise is gonna be a-okay. Just back up full HP. They're gonna get to the back line though with Phantom Lancer. Untouched, gonna shred the Oracle and Skid now. He's gonna lose his first life. He used quite a bit of mana. His backup is coming in from March, but it's coming a little bit too slowly. Fear's gonna come in, stall up an extra profit Skid. The Pulse Nova doing what he can, but the Epicenter's gonna cut right through him. No suicide. And he's gonna be dropped. Churon also is swarmed by the Phantom Lancer. He's gonna die to the Lance, and then March is gonna feed his life immediately after. The Spirit Breaker's out of here, man. He's gonna have no part in this, but it looks like Faded just a little bit too much durability with that completed SMY to actually be dealt with effectively. He's gonna win a convincing team fight with his team, of course. Maybe that's what they needed to get back into the recovery path, because they took all those kills and also that Aegis.
Yeah, and that's the Orchid. Covering big there. We managed to Orchid the Omni Knight as in. Pretty much no stones on at all. Very easy. You know, even though the Oracle can keep people alive with the false promise, the Shrek still loses all his mana. He'll lose. And it happens quickly too.
He obviously can't keep himself alive. It's ironic. Prequel memes. Okay, Skid's gonna get jumped on one more time. Oh my god, yeah, he's just gonna pop himself. He's dead, and oh no. Oracle, he's gonna die as well. Charge is coming in from like bottom lane, somewhere irrelevant. Okay, well, I mean, Spirit Breaker can do a lot, but when you're in these full-scale team fights, if you're not actively stunning the Phantom Lancer, really tough to play SB. So all of a sudden that lead Geek Fam had that they expect to have with this 10 kill lead and 1 tower lead, that's gone, man. We're working with an even game at this point, and it's gonna be Phantom Lancer #1 hero that to try to deal with.
He was pretty difficult to deal with these
Radiant's top tower is falling.
The repel, turn around with the charge. Earth Elimination Prophet as well. Skylark needs it in prison. Will get saved for a couple seconds, but Phantom Lancer's already out of here. In fact, everyone's trying to piece out in different directions. The old TPing out. Oh no, not the Shadow Demon. He didn't deserve this. He's gonna get dropped. He dumps his entire payload into the Oracle. Not really gonna do anything of significance there. Everyone else should be fine. A little bit of a turnaround there from Geek Fam, able to protect their Leshrac with that repel. Certainly something that hasn't happened in the recent cold fight.
And so Geek Fam, they have so much building damage that all it really takes is for them to win one engagement. Base use the Exorcism, use the Edict, protect each other, and yeah, even if they're behind in Network Dwarf, it appears that they can't win fights. That's all it takes. One small pickoff, one little moment's breathing room. Pretty good here.
The Epicenter lands squarely onto 2 heroes, does a lot of good damage from after which they're focusing onto this Death Prophet, but the GA comes in with the False Promise as well, and suddenly there's literal no damage coming out from the Clutch Gamers side. They've got to run away. They've already lost the Sand King. He's going to be forced to buy back here. He's going to kind of get caught in the back line. He'll drop as well, but you get the Monoturge onto Skid. The Stomp to the Familiars, the Burrow Strike. They get the kill there and push forward for more. Skylark following the Moths. He's gonna sprout up blind, finds an Oracle Burrow Strike. He actually has it on cooldown right now. They find March in the corner. He'll try to TP out, and it looks like with that repel will be Burrow Strike proof. Do take a decent fight there, Clutch. Only losing that Sand King. Yes, he was forced to buy out, which is expensive for him. Great for the Visage, man. Gets a ton of gold, and God, his Ags is like pretty much completed.
Small price to pay to hold your base and win a team fight up against the Exorcist and the very nicely played. It's so difficult to actually end them like that with a team. And when they always have the buyback ready, you actually get gold when you buy back kills. You have to be so cautious about, especially on a hero like Tanking that Peachy back in, blinking to the fight. He can get theirs.
Now stalking the DP. Thought earlier she was really easily dealt with until the defensive support came in. So like physical durability wise, not irrelevant because she has the solar crest and she's going to go for Shiva's guard next. Both absolute all-stars up against PL, but still is definitely a hero that generally is considered pretty tanky, and in this game is perhaps not quite as tanky. It really does require Omni Knight and Oracle to be in the right place and to not get hit with that Orchid from that NP. Not to mention any other stray stuns they have flying around. You have NP. Fear Breaker with Mask of Madness. Cancel. Pretty sure you could do that if there wasn't a Sand King.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh. Nice. Turns out Sand King is it has invisibility. Who knew? Not only does he get the Aghanim Scepter, but he's able to get level 18 around the same time, so no value loss here. Ajit's familiars are essentially maxed out for this stage. Maybe AC or something like that in the future, but Visage has done an admirable job recovering.
Is under attack.
But again, damn, they're just making a play for just mid lane. There is a lift available. Power's already at 400 or 540. Nice, super.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
He has no TP, so Clutch. They gotta scramble back right now. They'll fortify and will hold for a little bit up against the Edict, but will do nothing up against the Moths. Of that DP now going to go for the melee racks. Those damage that will heal, so they're committing pretty heavily right now. And from the back line, it is going to be a random Send charge. She's already down to half HP before really anyone commits. Well, spells being thrown out to try to thin out this Smurf horde. Strong is still in the back. Oh, he's going to get hit with the epicenter, although the immediate ball promise comes in. He's going to be safe for a little while longer, but Oli's in a lot of trouble now. He's going to be surrounded as Strong is still taking a lot of damage. I'm not even sure if he's going to heal off of this because the Fan Lance is running rampant. He is actually going to get a full heal, so maybe not, but PL, he's on the run now. Burrow Strike to cancel the charge and get PL out of there. Maybe some time to heal up in the background. The birds are just tearing apart absolutely everyone. Do once again buy back with support, but it's not really a terribly huge cost. This is only a 2 for 2, however, as March will leave not quite enough damage. This defensive power of Geek Fam, once again, holding strong.
Man, PL spent the whole fight hitting the Death Prophet with false Promise on her the entire time. And it hit a DD, but it still did absolutely no damage at all to it. So I guess now he realizes, well, I probably shouldn't ever hit quick. PL has a heart, so it's super easy to weave in and out of fights. Doppelganger. I mean, there's just no real way to do it. Right, Geek Fam, they're working on a Radiance on Omni Knight, which will help a lot with PL. And I guess Leshrac almost has guards. Cool. I don't know. He's getting so tanky that, like, even though they're buying items to help survive up against this, he's building items so he can outlast Guardian Angel, Hell, False Promise, and then problematic.
To the impurities.
They're racing against the clock.
They're like, maybe not. Maybe Leshrac is going to get False Promise, and probably is fine, although Yoel's going to drop a Purge on him, does have that disruption as well. First of all, scouting with the poisons, it's going to get repelled. They'll take a pretty big hit from that False Promise, but does survive. Fear's going to come in from the back. Not a huge commitment there, as they do catch a Sprout and Tron with a nice Burrow Strike from Roots. They're going to pop the Shrine, though. This is really risky, but they lost the Death Prophet, and now they're charging forward with all the Smurfs of the world. Sprout, once again, is there, catches two. The Burrow Strike catching them as well. That's smart, surrounded and dropped. Fear, once again, is out of there. But man, those Sprouts in the right place, the divide and conquer in that particular fight from Clutch, absolutely perfect. Keeping the heroes away from one another. There was no GA. The False Promise was used very early. That's what Clutch have to do if they want to win these team fights. And immediately we see Skylark teleporting towards the top lane, already getting to work on that tower. The rest of his allies will follow up shortly. There are buybacks here, but with only 20 seconds of respawn timer, not really sure if they want to spend that gold. If they don't, it will be a tower at least to fall. With birds in the air, they will shred these buildings, and there goes your melee racks top, and everyone's going to piece on out of there. That's a resounding win for Clutch. Butterfly en route for the PL. Roshan is going to respawn conveniently for Clutch Gamers. Just walk right in, and you're a PL with Heart in solo Roche. It's going to take you maybe a little while longer if you do it by yourself, but you've got birds, you've got Solar Crest in the area as well. Roshan, not sure if something Geek Fam can actually, they can do anything about this. They don't have any vision in the air, so they can't even charge in. There's so many random goons and creeps just like in the way. Skylark is going to be spotted. He's going to chuck out that Wrath of Nature immediately, gets spread onto the Lashrak. He nullifies him as well. Another great burrow strike in the background. Skin's going to be freed up by the false promise. Lets Shiva's guard go, and he's going to drop the entire mana pool onto Skylark. There goes the Nature's Prophet. He's first down. But in the back line, it's Fade. He's going off to the Oracle, takes him down. Now he's off the Skin. Although he does get stunned up, he does have that double life and the cheese still in his backpack. So there's a lot of Phantom Lancer to grind through. They've been able to isolate this Death Prophet, and she's getting a lot of help, though, from the Spirit Breaker with those charges. Breaking the fight up a little bit, and will kill off Faded. He's going to be respawning with Cheese in tow. Of course, with that full health pool, that's a lot of Heart of Tarask health. He does have some heroes here to help him out. He's going to try to doppelgang himself away, but I don't think that's going to work. He eats the cheese, doesn't even give him a full restore. Lands a 4-man Burrow Strike. That's great. With Skylar coming in from the behind, he will try to help with the restraint on the Omni Knight. They're still just trying to protect Faded, still trying to chase after him with no exorcism. I'm not sure if they have enough damage to kill off this PL any longer. They will have to fall back, but that is going to be a nice fight for Geek Fam all of a sudden, as Clutch perhaps get a little bit too clustered in that narrow corridor.
Middle tower is
Yeah,
under
fighting
attack.
in that tiny area against the track is just a recipe for a disaster. They couldn't get to the targets they wanted, and they just run through this giant track wall.
Yeah, coin.
Oh man, I thought you know, Skylark did have a chance to go for the tracks during that fight, but I thought they could take the fight. Clearly not. You know, he went for the Orchid and Nullifier, very popular in the Nature's Prophet, but it's so hard to use well up against the Omni. Health to be able to invoke via the Omni. Oracle can also dispel. Real tough.
Gotta find some way to get on top of the Oracle and the Omni Knight simultaneously. The Burrow Strikes from the Sand King have been absolutely nasty, and like those caliber of Burrow Strikes are definitely what they need if they're going to have a chance of landing that Mute Orchid combo. If that doesn't happen, then Geek Fam's saves will just ride them through every single time. They will find a random Omni Knight trying to clear off Ancients. Aftermoose skirting in a weird direction there. March was a straight repel TP. There is still a potential target here in the Oracle. I don't think they actually see him, though.
Radiant's bottom tower is under
They
attack.
can't do anything about it. Scarlet, in the meantime, is getting beaten the hell up by the Spirit Breaker. He will wand up and try to book it the other direction. Now turning around for the Spirit Breaker because he's got his Goon Squad here. His allies are in play, and Fear is unfortunately going to go down. So close yet so far, Spirit Breaker. Down for a minute, and that is somewhat of an opening here, as Cave also has picked up a double damage room. We'll get you. That will purge it off. He's going to push forward with that repel. Shiva's Guard doing a lot of damage to the creep wave. Not losing much mana yet, so maybe they're going to stick around for this. They have the hearts, so they can do this all day. With that Phantom Rush agility bonus, Fade is just tearing apart the destruction. They force the buyback on the Spirit Breaker. Scarlet going to teleport really, really far in. Dude, I'm not really sure if that was the play. Charged out, Force Staff, he's still going to go down. Something. Lightning Strike, I suppose. That TP from Nature's Prophet was, we'll call it bold.
Quite bold.
Radiant's bottom
Perhaps
shrine
too bold.
is under attack.
They actually do end up getting out a buyback, though, and that was good for the fight. Not going to get any closer to it. Oh, not too
Radiant's
bad.
bottom shrine
Shrine
has
Time
fallen.
Peel has a ridiculous amount of farm. He's also working on the beak. It still is really difficult for Clutch Gamers to block against the Lashrak, especially grab
To the impurities.
both teams. They're in a position where they want to push, but they need to fight first.
Fortunately for Geek Fam, if you're going to fight first, with that exorcism, you may not have the gas to push afterwards. It doesn't have any sort of cooldown reduction from items or anything like that, so they have to hope that these fights take place, or force it so that the fights take place on the direst half the map. If they take place in a defense capacity, when Geek Fam are fighting under their own tier, where their tier 2 towers were, or their tier 3s, the high ground, then like exorcism as an offensive tool is great for the fights, but like, it doesn't do anything afterwards because the cooldown is so limiting. So in that regard, Clutch definitely do have the advantage. They're not reliant on any huge cooldown, with the exception being the Visage Birds, but that's in a much different fashion. So they can freely run around the map and not worry about really where these fights take place. They are pretty much just as strong anywhere.
Point if that Prophet ever has to use defend her own base, then even if you win the fight, yeah, Gamer's still keeping the pressure up, pushing out both these side lanes while march it down. I don't think they can just casually walk up to the high. Both teams need to pick it off desperately.
It is going to be spotted here, but a little bit too far to aggressively go. Have picked up the Radiance on the Omni Knight, and we kind of glanced over it, but March a long time ago did pick up this Hand of Midas, a very long time ago. The net worth-wise, he's third, which is insane for an Omni Knight, and this is definitely the type of hero that, with this extra gold, can not only do quite a bit defensively, as we've already seen, but to stick around longer with that Radiance. You know, that type of damage isn't going to be killing off Phantom Lancer anytime soon, but that mischance definitely will add up when you're talking about the Phantom Lancer, we're talking about the Nature's Prophet. He's a very persistent hero, but again, I'm not really sure if they have the threat to really leverage that. From his perspective, he's still mega farm.
It's a step in the right direction, right? All they need to do is tank up against this Phantom Lancer. He's going to hit his peak where he doesn't really deal enough damage to kill these heroes that are super farm-like. It's probably already extremely difficult for him to cut through the Shrek with 30 armor, guard, and defensive abilities coming out, so Visage, he's getting more and more farm. He does do a lot of damage, don't get me wrong. It feels like it's, I don't know, they're gonna hit a wall, where if Geek Fam get too farmed, that they just...
Visage, like, looking at his build right now, very kind of cheap, cost-effective items, the Solar Crest, the Helm of the Dominator, hard items to actually replace on Visage. His damage is essentially all about those birds, so you want to give them as much aid as possible. He already has the AC, he already has the Agam Scepter. You can backpack that, I believe, and still keep the familiar. So, like, you have some freedom there from the Visage, but as far as like big splashy items, I suppose maybe like a Slice of Ice type of item that he can pick up and actually get some use out of. But outside of that, like, you got to go big or go home at this point.
Yeah, exactly. You run into some major Visage problems after that. You won't have all these items to amplify your bird. Alright, he's got... Definitely. Everything.
Mini crits, getting accuracy. Kind of matters, actually, up against the Radiance, up against the Solar Crest. Non-zero level of mischance here, so it really can work out to some degree. Skylark is picking up a couple items himself. Definitely not farming as quickly as a Nature's Prophet can because of that Spirit Breaker, but he's still got a long ways to go. So the kind of side cores of the Clutch Gamer side definitely do have a lot of room for improvement. From the Geek Fam side, they are kind of getting up there. Death Prophet still has a couple item slots to replace. Shrek has a Ring of Aquila, which he definitely wants to replace. And he is pretty swole right now. 2,300 health, an absolute ton of armor. Still level 25 talent to pick up as well.
The Octarine too, he gets tankier in these fights. So. Game's not bad at all for Geek. PL looked unstoppable in a lot of these fights, but next fight might not be the same. You know, PL does not deal the most damage compared to Octarine.
He's gonna go for a Bloodthorn himself. If the Nature's Prophet was able to get a Bloodthorn some way for NP to amplify the Phantom Lancer's damage, that would be definitely the type of item they need to kind of insta-kill heroes, or at least as close as they can with the through. Doesn't seem like that's really going to be happening anytime soon.
KB being picked up by the Spirit Breaker, so we finally got enough money. Yeah, that's a huge... Nothing real there. Locked down any...
Moving forward, Sean is up, mind you, and you have Skylark scouting that with a Treant. So if you do know about this, and it seems like Geek Fam, they have an inkling about this as well. Fortunately, they are, I don't think, capable of going in convincingly and taking it before Clutch arrive. Unless Clutch keep going down towards the bottom lane, which seems like it's happening, so Geek Fam can actually just pop everything right now and take Roche. And that is going to be huge for that refresher shard. Like, Truon absolutely needs that if they're going to start making any potentially game-winning plays. Split push is fully active, though. Skylar he's ratting it up. He's going to get charged in, pull them apart a little bit. As Phantom Lancer loses, he's going to scout them out. Perfect time, what's going on? Phantom Lancer proper going to jump right in with Damage Center going on to 3. Skid is going to get really heavily damaged, but he's still focusing on that Roshan. Aegis snatched up by Faded, but it's really all about the refresher shard. They will lose the Sand King in the midst of this. Faded is pretty much by himself. He's absolutely by himself, actually. Doppelgang's out, just trying to burn as much mana as he can. Now here comes reinforcements. Dodge it with the familiars, but he can't really find a target. He will get the Phantom Lancer out of there. And it will be, where's the refresh shard? It's on the Omni Knight, so it's in the clutches of the Radiant. They will separate, though, from Lestrak. He has the cheese. I don't think that's going to be used here, however, and he's going to drop. He has no buyback either. Just short of gold, 600. So that from Clutch got them bottom racks because Skylark is Nature's Prophet, and that's how Nature's Prophets roll. They get a couple of kills. They get the Aegis. It's a pretty nice win for Clutch, and with 2 heroes who don't have buyback, can they get megas here? They don't have another exorcism just yet, although he will eat the shard if he needs to. They're just going to jump right in towards March with the Shiva's Guard Blast coming out from Shuon. He's doing what he can versus the Phantom Lancer, but he just doesn't have enough persistent damage because he doesn't have the exorcism. Now the Burst Strike comes in onto the Omnet. He gets nullified as well. The Oracle's not able to help him out just yet. Just now picks up his false promise, but he's already dead, the Omni Knight. He's going to be forced to buy back into Death Prophet by himself. He's going to try to hold the line, but I don't think that's going to happen. Another Burst Strike coming in with the Phantom Lancer swarming in. Shuon with the Siphons pretty much taking no damage. So he will survive for a very long time, but he's not doing any damage, so it's like, who cares? They will find the Omnet with the Siphon, or with the Nullifier, rather, and will put him in the body bag as well. GG should be called momentarily. Clutch, off of one good fight, put an end to this game.
From Roshan to like that, they got hit. No worries about it. 25 talent is amazing. Doing doppelgangers, outlast things like there's a guardian game. Well played. Really back and forth game. Very exciting.
Clutch Gamer